day 2, getting some breakfast. Gonna go get a shop tour, bring you guys along for that. And then I think we're gonna hit the range for a while and see what we got going on later tonight. But first we need some food. All the good food, the delicious breakfast, so.
First we feast. Me, you know, the old PP, possum poacher, out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest.
He literally just talked about how he hates the weather here.
It's fucking depressing. But besides that, it's great.
You can't say that. I'm gonna have to mute that out.
Oh, it's desolate and gloomy. And I can feel like a lot of grunge, you know, grungy maybe. I want to go get a flannel shirt. It's gonna be nice. I bet I wear flannel tonight. I'm gonna wear flannel.
All right, so we are at Noveske and about to get the shop tour.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, you were. Oh, get that. Yeah, little booty bounce. Yeah.
Really starts with the blanks. So the blanks come in rifled with our buttons, and then from there we go into the cutting phase. The only reason that they even sit into either of these is to cut and face, and to turn it down. It doesn't turn it this much. They'll usually turn about half of it, and we're only doing that so we can put it in the machine on the other side of this so we can contour it. So they'll do that little contour in this one, cut and face it over there, and then they'll move from here to the next one. They'll come in, generally we'll bring them in longer sizes like this, and then we'll just, whatever the order's for, we try to get 2 or 3 out of each blank that we get. We'll end up with drops and whatnot. So these are past R&D barrels that we've ran on T&Es, whether we send them out to departments to use. If we've been doing R&D on something, we'll house them here so we always know where they're at. We can go back and rerun something on a barrel that we already ran if we need to collect more data. Employee box parts. Our employees get the benefit of being able to buy parts to build guns at a very like almost free. So it's a big thing for us, for our employees to be able to shoot. So we make it available to them if they want. Chambering, most of the guys that in the shop can kind of go to do any of the other jobs. Chambering is way more specific. So Mark and JR that's not there, they're the only 2 guys that chamber. So the only job they do is chamber and then extension. So they don't really go around and do a bunch of other shit. They're here all the time because it's a way more skilled process than some of the other ones. So. Over to extensions. This is where they'll go through the process of tossing extensions on them, pressing them, doing the whole jazz. That's where we'll go back and forth between if there is some sort of headspace gets done over here. We run a standard headspace gauge set with the go, no go. Barrels have to land smack dab in the middle of that. We don't run it on one side or the other. Smack dab in the middle you don't, then they get fixed. So where they all go. Okay. And then this is the builder's kind of den. The guy that we saw pulling parts over there, he pulls all the parts, sets them here with all the jobs, and then they just have to walk over here and grab their shit instead of having to go pull all that stuff from all over the place. So just having that one guy's upped our production a ton.
He's good for you.
I think all to go together how it needs to, and these guys are like wizards with making things turn out how they need them to be, you know?
Really good. Chocolate and yellow cake is my favorite.
There you have it. There was our behind the scenes look at Noveske, at the shop and what they do and what goes into building their rifles. I wanted to give my impressions coming out of that. And the one word that always kept coming up was impressive. I walked away just impressed by their entire operation, but also impressed at everything that went into the rifles. Now, after I did the 10.5 video, the shorty review, you can watch that up here. There was a lot of people who commented or who said, oh, well, you know, Noveske hasn't been the same since John left and all that. And I can't testify to that because I didn't shoot Noveske before John passed, and I didn't shoot it after. I didn't come across Noveske until later in my firearms like enthusiasm or, you know, whatever. But one thing that I can say is when you have a polarizing figure, when you have a monumental figure like John was, and you take them out of that position, it creates a vacuum. And there has to be someone or something to fill that. And it can create problems. Now, again, I can't say for sure, but looking at like Apple, for example, when Steve Jobs left Apple and the vacuum it created, they weren't the same. They tried, but they weren't the same. And it took time for them to kind of get back around to where they are now. But I can say firsthand from being there in the shop, from seeing every little thing, seeing the details, and seeing how much goes into literally everything and how everything starts as raw material and then becomes this work of art. It was very impressive. And at every station we stopped at, so everywhere from like customer service, admin work, all the behind the scenes stuff, we got to go to the office, we got to go to the machine shop, we got to go to where the barrels are cut. And they answered every question we have. They showed us every little detail. up into the guns being finished and ready to be shipped out. And in that process, every conversation we had either started with or was brought up some point during the conversation was, well, this is how Johnny did it, or it's how Johnny would have wanted it, or this was his idea, his philosophy, this was the direction he wanted us to go. And for me, that showed me that Noveske has anchored themselves to the ideas and concepts, the original idea that Johnny had for Noveske rifles, and that's what they're doing right now. And I can say, having shot the 10.5 before, along with a 12.5, some new guns, and other things like that when we got on range with them, I can tell you, yes, that is coming back around, and we'll talk more about the performance in upcoming videos, but it was just impressive. I don't really know, I can't formulate it any other way than I was just impressed by everything that went into it, and it makes sense, the product that is coming out now. And there's a sign, and I'll post it up here, that was in the shop that was from back in the day, and I think that sums up the kind of the mindset that everybody has in what they're doing, and everybody taking pride in their work, and everyone putting in the time and the effort and the energy to make things the best they can make them. And as we left, Preston said, going in, he was kind of on the fence about Noveske, just because he hadn't really ever shot him, but didn't understand why it cost what it cost. And I think that's probably a lot of people. And when we left, Preston said, not a lot of things impressed me, but they impressed me. And not even just the people being amazing, but everything they did was impressive. And the amount of detail that goes into everything they do, down to like the hand filing and cleaning up of uppers and lowers, to the amount of detail that goes into the barrels and what they do there, and their R&D. Like, I had a conversation with Dave, their R&D guy. We were just happened to be sitting there hanging out, getting ready for dinner. Pulls up a chair, we start chatting, and then immediately we get into this conversation, him just super inquisitive, asking why we ran certain things, why we wanted that, asking about recoil impulse and what our feeling was, what our thoughts were on certain things. The conversation then went to accuracy, and one of the things I found out in that conversation is that they own the patent on nitriding barrels. And he's like, yeah, there's a reason we don't nitride barrels, but we own the patent. And so we went through that whole discussion, and I could have talked with Dave for hours and hours, just picking his brain of all the things that they've found out over time and their mindset behind things. But all that to say that the cumulative effort of their team produces an amazing rifle. And I hope that that's what's communicated here, so that some of you will understand why they cost. And again, one of the things that Preston said in that conversation after we left was, I now understand why the rifles are priced at what they are, and I think they're worth every penny because of what we've seen that goes into them. And that's, for me, what was the big takeaway, and that's why I say it was so impressive. So looking forward to getting another Noveske on the way. Again, we'll talk more about that in the future. But again, thanks to their whole team. Thanks to Scott, Pete, Megan, Dave, Elrad, everyone there at the shop for letting us get behind the scenes look. If you guys have questions, if there's something that you didn't see that maybe you're curious about, leave it in the comments down below. I'll hop down and answer those, and I'm sure the Noveske team will probably hop down and answer those as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Karate chop that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video, and I will see you guys in the next one. And the next one, I just bit my tongue. The next one is our time on range with them. So we had a little range day with some of the staff, so keep an eye out for that one coming up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
You sweet boy. You sweet baby.
He's just completely ignoring me. Doesn't even care. So if you made it this far in the video, you know we usually have some bloopers here. There was a whole second storyline to this video throughout this day, and it was essentially just Taylor trash talking Pete, the media guy for Noveske, which he's not just a media guy, he's a really good shooter. We weren't expecting him to be, we knew he'd be a good shooter, we didn't know he'd be that good. So Taylor, per Taylor fashion, comes in a little hot, a little overconfident, and you're gonna see that trash talking throughout the day, and then you'll see at the end it didn't quite turn out the way he wanted, and so this isn't quite over, and I'll just let you watch and it'll all make sense, but enjoy.
Predictions for the day. I'm gonna wake up, come here.
Why are you talking so quietly?
Already did it.
Why are you talking so quietly?
Next thing I'm gonna do, kick this guy's ass because he can't do it himself. He sucks at everything, right? Gonna probably look at some cool rifles. Might go shoot some cool stuff. Gonna do some B8s. This guy's gonna get his dick smoked off. You know? If there's one thing I am, it's awesome at reflex, and I'm humble as shit.
Yeah.
Yep. Super humble, this guy. Yep. As humble as it gets.
Listen, 2009, the greatest game that ever made was made. MX versus ATV Reflex. And there's the real ones know what it is. If you don't know, it's all right. You're just not a real one. But I have found someone here that thinks they can beat me at this. And oh man, he was in some club or something like we like to play videogames.com or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter because it's me. You know, humble me versus whoever he is. All right.
He played with his friends, so that's why he thinks he's good, because he was better than his friends. Anyone can beat their fucking friends. So.
My friends were fast. Listen, Pistol Pete, I'm done with this talking. You've now used the official Noveske Instagram to try to roast me. And or YouTube. Either way, doesn't matter. And it's getting real now, Pete. We're gonna see if you get on your name, Pistol Pete. Me and you. Stop and go. Handgun. 3 out of 3 rounds. Let's see if you got what it takes. And if when I win, you have to tell everyone that I beat you at Reflex. Okay? Just tell everybody that. In fact, you might have a shirt that says Taylor beat me at Reflex. Alright? So start practicing, homie. Let's get it.